Hey guys, it's Justin with WRX Daily, and today we're continuing the build series on our VA WRX with the BC Racing BR Series coilovers. There are so many coilovers in the market today, but today we're going to be focusing on arguably one of the most popular brands in this industry, the BC Racing BR Series coilovers. These coilovers are going to be one of the most affordable options into this market, but they're not going to sacrifice performance, build quality, or handling. We've sold hundreds of coilovers over the last few years, and so there's a reason we went with BC Racing for this build. These coilovers specifically are going to be entry level at just under $1,200, but they're going to pack in tons of value, which is why they're so popular. Another great brand that we recommend for those with a larger budget would be the Fortune Auto. We currently are running these on our 2021 STI and our 2023 WRX. One thing that the BC Racing and the Fortune Auto coilovers have in common is their customizability. Both of these brands are going to have various levels of coilovers for all levels of enthusiasts. The BR series from BC Racing and the 500 series from Fortune Auto are going to tailor to those daily driving enthusiasts that still want the ability to carve a track. So both of these companies are going to allow you guys to customize the springs that come with your coilovers. BC Racing is going to offer Swift as an upgrade, and Fortune Auto is going to offer Swift as well as Hyperco. The nice thing is that both of these companies are going to allow you guys to order custom spring rates. Now, if that's a lot of information and confusing and too much customization, both of these companies also have default applications that are going to fit the average enthusiast. That is what we're going to be installing today, the default BC Racing coilovers. With our goal of building the perfect daily driver WRX, these BR series coilovers are going to fit that mold perfectly without breaking the bank. So let's get these put on the car and test them out on the road so we can validate everything I've been saying. We're going to start here at the front of the car, undo this little clip right here. I'm going to pop this one out. That's really simple. And then there's one more on the back side here. That's a brake line that I'm going to undo as well. I've got two bolts here. These are going to come out the 19. So once you're done down below, you're going to come up here. It's going to be really simple. There's just going to be these three bolts on the top here. You might want to put a jack on the bottom side just so that when you undo these bolts, your coilover isn't going to fall down, but really simple up top here. So I'm going to put the new coilover on the same way I took the old one off. I'm going to sneak it in through here, then put it up, and then I'm going to align it around this hub. You might have to move it around a little bit. And then once I have the coilover on this hub, I'm going to give my jack down here a couple pumps. That way it's going to help the coilover and line up to those holes up top there. It does help to have a second set of hands to help put those nuts on, but if you don't have a second set of hands, you can sneak them on yourself. Once you're done with the front, you'll come to the rear here, and there's going to be 1, 2, and 3 bolts on the bottom here. You're going to take all these out, going to release it from the coilover. Once you're done with the bottom down there, you're just going to take off these 2 nuts, and then the bolts are going to fall through and the coilover is going to fall down, and you will have it off of the rear. Now that we've got the coilovers installed on the WRX, it's time to adjust them to our liking. First, we're going to adjust the dampers here. These coilovers come with 30 clicks of adjustable dampening, allowing you to fine-tune your ride quality specifically for your driving activities. These are great just because these coilovers can adapt to any situation, so whether it's autocross, a track day, or just racing your friends around town, you have all the adjustment you need right here. We're going to be setting ours at click 15, which is right between soft and firm. We might move them up a couple clicks or to the firmer side after putting some miles on them. So I'm not sure where they're set at the current moment, but I'm going to turn them all the way to soft. So I'm just going to keep turning it until it completely stop, so it locked right there, and now I'm gonna go 15 back the opposite way, so we'll be right in the middle. So now that these are set, I'm gonna go around the car and do all 4 of them, set them to this exact setting, and then we can adjust later if we want to. Next, we're gonna be adjusting the ride height here. It's important to note that most coilovers are gonna settle as you drive the car following installation, so keep that in mind when you're setting up your height. We're not gonna make the height perfect today because we will be installing some new wheels in a future video, but the adjustment is super easy. So all you need to do is take the supplied tool here, you're gonna put it around that, and then you're just gonna break it loose. And then once it's loose, we set our gap, I guess, to right about 25 here. We're gonna put it up here, and then we're just gonna spin this up until we're pretty much almost there to that distance. And then once we're there, you're gonna take the same tool that was supplied and then tighten down these top ones until this reaches the top. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys how to lock these into place once you have the distance set up right. So the bottom one, just make sure you take your small tool and tighten this all the way down to the bottom here. And then make sure this small one is binded all the way up to the top piece. And then I already locked mine, but you're just gonna take your tool here, lock it on and snug it as hard as you can over. And then do the same with the bottom one, make sure this one's snugged on, and then you guys will be good to go for the road.
So after putting a handful of miles on these coilovers, I love how they ride. The difference between the factory suspension and these is night and day. The main difference that sticks out to me is just how planted the car feels now. You know, there was a lot of body roll from the factory suspension, and these coilovers have completely eliminated that. Any turn that I take now, you know, as I come around this turn here, the car just feels so flat and so much tighter, and it's all thanks to these BC Racing coilovers. Most people say, you know, that an exhaust is their favorite upgrade to do, but I find it hard to beat a good set of coilovers like these BC Racings. The entire driving personality of this car has completely changed. In the next video, we're gonna dial in the fitment on this car with some new wheels and tires that we've picked out for the car. So right now the car is sitting nice, but we know we can still make it better with some improvements. Just looking at the old setup, you can see that few inches of wheel gap, and that has now pretty much completely been removed thanks to these coilovers. Like I showed in the install, we didn't lower them all the way because we know they need to settle yet, but if you wanted to remove all the wheel gap, these can do that for you.
The BC Racing BR Series coilovers are going to totally transform the driving experience of this car. The goal with this build series is to show all the modifications that are going to totally transform the look, sound, feel, and overall driving experience of the WRX. It doesn't matter if you commute an hour to work, 10 minutes across town, or you participate in weekend autocross events, these coilovers are going to turn your WRX into the sports car that it was meant to be. The adjustability of these coilovers make it super easy to adjust the ride height and comfort to your preference. You're also not going to be stuck with one setup with these coilovers. You can change them over time as you become more comfortable with the WRX platform. They may not be the least expensive coilovers on the market, but we believe that they bring the best value for you guys at around $1,200. Like always, all these links are going to be in the description below, and you guys can head over to our website at WRXdaily.com for all your coilover and suspension needs. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment if you guys liked the video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and we will see you guys next time.